Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Eloheinu Elohim Litzot Yankev Elohim Elohim and any ain't going to say diving can the apple that has the always maybe yes and maybe much week Bago Melazar Mishio Morgan Baruch atah Adonai Amen. Even the Lama Rabbi Shem, Shiva Rock, the Yashin, Find Professor, Family Rabim, Saint Lablim, Rekagailim, Machira Surim, also Shenyo, for the comical race with the melodies and finals, making sure. When they want to what is amazing, Borakato Adino, I am amazing. Bishop and Aris of 1906 are for the Shem Shak of Blue Shot, the Post Yamia, who goes Elzerioma. Kodesh, and West North, the Lord's boy, the ones in Shop, Atu Kodesh, Shimpu Kodesh, Obdation before game of Cosella, Adino. Amen. Bocato Adino, Amen. Vezakniya v'mirmiyamei, Baruch Adonai, Shayver Oivim Makia Zaiti, Amen. Zagikim ala Chasidim Maziknei Ampo Beis Yisrael Vatlitas Beis Yifreim, Velgeret Tzedek V'Aleinu Rachamei Adonai Eloheinu Yisrael Sofer Tei V'Kol Bokim V'Shim Chodemes V'Sitnu Keim Moim V'Lodim Lo Nevosh V'Kol V'Tofnu Baruch Adonai, Mishon V'Tof Latzagikim, Amen. Yerushalayim Yirpograchim Tosh, Rabbi Yishchem V'Zikol Kasher Yibarta V'Ksedolit Avdu Komiher V'Sokol V'Tovkin, Umneisov before Binyan Elam Baruch Atah Adonai, Yerushalayim, Amen. Shosu Kivinu Koloye, Baruch Atah Adonai, Tzviat Yerin Yeshua, Shmat Yereinu Adonai, Racham Racham Aleinu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Kier Shemet Filas Espanum Modern Konecho Moken Rukom Al Yishoreinu. Yeah, the Shemet Filas Kol Peh Baruch Atah Adonai, Shemei Tfilo, Tzei Adonai Bam Yisrael, וסולוסם שיושי ברגע לדיון ספו, ושסולוסם יעבוס כברוץ, ציברוץ תמיד מדבר סולומךו, וזה חזנו איננו ושוב מוצאים ברחמים, ברכתו עדינו, וחזי שנוס אליצי, איננו אנחנו לא שאנו עדינו אלוהים, ונצאנו, וחיים אנושיינו עד ולדור ודורננו חצו וכל ספר וחיינו סבדךו ואני שוסנו כדי סלוחו אני ספר שתפלגנו מונו ועל מתבוספו כדי ספר שתפל אייס ערב ובוקר וצנועים עדי פילוי כל רחמךו אמירתם פילוי סמו חסדךו תמיד קיבינו לו ועל בול מזבורך בסיינו וסנס השם כמו כן יתום וכלום בורי וכל החיים ידעו פסלו ושמחו הגודל יילום כי תיבואי שוסד ורסנו סלו אלותי וברוך Ato Adino, אתם שירים כל לכון אלינו, שולם תגו ברוכו, חיים חיינו חסד ורחמים, עלינו וכל ישראל עמך, וברכנו אבינו כלום, כי יחודר פונךו, יבר פונךו, נסחו לנו אדינו אלינו, תנס חיים ולס חסד, וסדוק וברוכו רחם, חיינו שולם, תבלמך ולברך לסנצו ישראל, וכל עץ וכל שוש לשלמךו, ברכתו אדינו, וברך לסנצו ישראל בשול, צדיק לנו, אותו, נושא גדול. סבי. ואנחנו הרשענו את כפיים הטובה. פרק את זה, כן, מדינת פשע ודינתו שומקים מישום תעקים שם עושים כי ימי כל בשם הדינוי ושום נאמר ויעבור הדינוי איזה בלור פשע וכתוב ונקר ותום לפניך יהיה ותאבינו לכל Tom, we actually saw in see if we John we based on the noise or the אנחנו לא נדע מה נעשה כי הולך אני נשאר לגני וכרגע דיבורי אצלנו לא יכול להיות אנחנו לזהינו לרשינו זכו שמכו להצלנו לדבר אחד עושינו למען שלכו יזגדל ויזגדש מרבו יום ולא פיוסי ויאמרת מופוס ושמח ולא יגור משי וחייך וימיך ותת כל בייס ישראל והכל זמן קוראים מרוב וישמירם וברבלם וישמרים יבורך כולם מתחייב ברכותם ותוספור ישראל כמו פסנס וישראל וסלוש וקוד שומרים וכל פס ושרו עשו פס ונקומוס אדם יום ביאלו ויברום וסתבל ובזהם בכל בייס ישראל כל דבון הם ושמעי ויברום שלום רב ומשמעי ופמתן מלאים כל ישראל ויברום ויעשה שולם יברנו ויעשה שלום עלינו כל ישראל ויברום עלינו לשבח הקודש ברוך שהוא נגד שומעים איתו בזה נאמר כן יבוא עד נעים לכבוד ונאמר בואי עד נעים למלך ויום יד נשפו בשנפות אמן Sebani esbani asisi ani asa sobiam alei tansi neshmach v'shasmanecha kilos midah v'shavon shefati v'shavon v'dani kavesh afilu chaveitem
After the going to she's before my year with the Macha Shimara, I might have maybe my Keva, Shabara, she made that Zaka, this part of the Zaki. So the Pira here, but then I made some sit guy, I don't say that again. Amen. Oh, what we have? We have 4.5 minutes. All right, today.
Some spot is going to see that on 11. And that's good.
And every month during this
during. Doing the Suda in the.
Because that's when they finish Kaddish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not doing the 12 months.
What do you mean they don't do the 12 months?
So I'm doing 12 months. I'm doing
as far as I was told, started costing us to do for 11, skip 2 weeks, and then do for 2 weeks.
You're doing Glasgow?
No. Askara is only 1. Askara is not 11 months. Askara is finishing Kaddish.
That's what I'm telling you. They're saying Askara on the.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make Askara means is the anniversary.
Yeah. The yard site.
It's the yard site. It's 2 different things. There's one thing.
Right, that's what you say. All of them doing it in person. Some doing it in lesson. Sounds good.
I don't know. Anyway, today in Jewish history. So in 1823, on the 18th of Adar Sheni, 1823, was the first Yiddish newspaper in America. Regular weekly Jewish newspaper, Yiddish newspaper, not Jewish, Yiddish, in Yiddish. It was called Der Yid. Now, it started in 1823 and only lasted until 1825. However, Der Yid actually opened, and it's open till today. It's a Satmar newspaper called Der Yid. My father used to call it Der Rabber.
Yeah.
Because pro-Palestinian, whatever, they agree with all their garbage. Anyway, so my father used to call it Der Rabber. My father used to buy it every week.
Why?
No idea. I have no idea. With no idea.
You fish wrap?
I have no idea.
You said wrap and fly.
Used to have a lot of newspapers. That was one.
Forward?
Good laugh. No, I didn't go forward. Ogmaner was one of them. The rabbi was one. There was another one here. Yeah. So this newspaper is interesting because it was there to have as a pro-Israel voice. 1823. Israel, 1948, modern day Israel. But back then it was to fight for pro-Israel. Eretz Yisrael. What was it about? It was about Eretz Yisrael. It wasn't about Medina. America. 1823. No, it was the first first Yiddish periodical newspaper called Der Yid in America. 1823 came out. First Yiddish newspaper. 201 years ago, exactly. Yiddish newspaper in America. That means there's enough Jews in America speaking Yiddish 201 years ago to be able to do a paper. It's interesting. guess, I don't know. And in 1722, the Yemenite Jewish community was saved from a horrific anti-Semitic whatever, where they tried to kill all the Jews of Yemen. And the Jewish community, the Yemenite Jewish community, we have a Yemenite Jewish community over here in Florida as well. They would celebrate tomorrow. They celebrate it as their personal Yemenite Purim. So there's a guy that comes here Friday nights, Udi, lives on the corner of 26 and 214. Udi. So Udi comes. Udi's Yemenite. Udi he has boys. He doesn't have any girls. Udi only has boys. Anyway. Halacha. So we're middle learning about maftir, about how many psukim, how many verses we have when we take out the Torah, right? So discussing maftir. So now we said that. What's the reason why we don't have? So we discussed why we don't have a special maftir for Shabbos, and that's why we don't take out 2 Torahs on Shabbos. We were discussing, and we said because the verses in the Torah that speak about the Karban Musaf, which we do on Shabbos, it's only 2 verses, and the rule is you need 3 verses in order to read an Aliyah. So therefore, we don't do that. Another reason he says we don't do like that because the Haftarah, the theme of the Haftarah, the storyline of the Haftarah, is connected to the Torah portion of that we read in Maftir. And if you read about Shabbos, and you read about Shabbos read a Haftarah about Shabbos every single week, that'll be boring. So he says it'll be boring. Every single week the same Haftarah, that'll be boring. That would be the reason why I would want to take out a second Torah every Shabbos for the Karbanot of Shabbos, which was Karban Musaf. But those psukim are only 2 psukim. That's why, but Shabbos is less Karbanot than Yom Tov. Unlike Yom Tov, where there's more psukim, there's at least 3 psukim, and that's why the maftir we read on Yom Tov is connected to the Karbanot. Because there's more Karbanot, there's more psukim, right? And therefore we have what to read. But they're relating it to the Karbanot. Because it's still Karbanot, then you have to take. He's saying is Shabbos, but also it's about Karbanot, Karban Musaf. Right. But we're not going to do it on Shabbos because we only have 2 psukim, and you need 3 psukim minimum. Yeah, but the Shacharit is Karban. No, but no. So the second Torah is always on every Yom Tov. When we take a second Torah, it has to do with the Karban, the special Karban of the day. Right. The Karban Achag, the special Karban of the day. Not the Karban, it wouldn't be the Karban Tamid, it wouldn't be the regular, but that's every day of the week. Right. So it wouldn't be about that. It would be special about the Karban for Shabbos, the Karban Musaf. Mm-hmm. And because it's only 2 psukim, and it's not the 3rd, that's why we don't have Maftir. And we don't have Haftarah because it would be boring to do Haftarah that way. Every single Shabbos, same Haftarah. Yeah. So we want to do Haftarah on Shabbos that's connected to the Torah portion. No, but he's Haftarah for the second for the day Korban. But we're not going to do it because it would be boring every single Shabbos do the same thing. No, we don't. Every Shabbat you do Haftarah. But we don't do the same Haftarah. We can do a different Haftarah every week. And the Haftarah every week is connected to the Parsha. But it's for the Korban. Korban Shabbat. Let's take it back a bit. So, again. On Yom Tov, we take out a second Torah. In the second Torah, we read Maftir. Right. The Maftir portion is regarding the Musaf of that day. Right. On Yom Tov, the Musaf deals with at least 3 psukim, and therefore we could read the Musaf every single day of Yom Tov. I'm asking another question. On Shabbos, we can't. But that's all the thing. They're not talking about the psukim only, it's about the Korbanot itself. In Yom Tov is more Karbanot than Shabbat. And that's why there's more psukim. So you're talking about the psukim, you're talking about the psukim. They come hand in hand. They're hand in hand. In Yom Tov, we have more Karbanot, more psukim, and therefore we could do it. On Shabbos, we only have 2, and therefore we can't because you need to have a 3rd. That is Maftir. The Haftarah We don't want to be born every single week the same thing. We want every single Shabbos a different Haftarah. Connected to the Parsha.
Also, Rosh Chodesh, you have more.
Rosh Chodesh, you do have more, and that's why you do a special Haftarah. That's why you do a second, you take out a second Torah on Rosh Chodesh. Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh. You do take out a second Torah, and you do have more than, because you do have more than 3 psukim, and we do have a special Haftarah.
So it's to do with the psukim, not with the korban. That's what you say.
It's together, it's one thing. It's one, it's the same thing, it's one thing, it's connected.
I'll tell you why, because if you think about it, it's the korban that's making the Torah come up.
Okay, fine. Bottom line is, do you have enough psukim to read, or you don't have enough psukim to read?
You always connect.
No.
They're saying you connect.
Okay, but we don't. Bottom line is we don't. Maybe for the second reason, we don't want to be boring. Every single Shabbat, same Haftarah, we don't do that.
No, you're allowed to change a little bit of the psukim.
We don't do that. Bottom line is we don't do that. No shul in the world does it that way. That's
no,
bottom line.
we're not doing it. I'm just saying.
Okay,
that's only the reason.
Let's continue. All right. So, the minimum amount of psukim, we spoke about the minimum amount of psukim to read on Aliyah is 3 psukim. The minimum amount of psukim to read for a Haftarah is we read after the Torah portion, read the Haftarah, is 21 psukim for a Shabbos. Why 21 psukim? Because there was a time period that they forbade us from reading the Torah on Shabbos. Jews weren't allowed in Bavel, I think. In Bavel, Babylonians, they sent not enough spies. It was open. They had their security in every single shul. No Torah reading. However, so when we weren't allowed the Torah reading, we swapped it for Haftarah. Now, Haftarah reading is how many aliyahs do we have on Shabbos? How many aliyahs do we have? 7 aliyahs. So like I said, 7 days of the week. Each aliyah, we said, is a minimum of how many verses? 3 psukim. 3 times 7 is 21. And that's why the Haftarah for Shabbos is a minimum of 21 psukim. On Yom Tov, however, the minimum amount of psukim is 15. Why 15? Because how many aliyahs do you have on a Yom Tov? 5. 5. On a regular Yom Tov is 5. Yom Kippur is 6. Regular Yom Tov is 5 aliyahs. 5 aliyahs, 3 psukim corresponding to each aliyah, it's 15. And therefore on Yom Tov, we have a minimum of 15. However, it's not set in stone. It doesn't, that is the tradition. But, and it's usually that way. However, it doesn't have to be that way. And if it's less, it's fine. Because again, we don't have that issue anymore. We don't have that issue of the government in our shuls not allowing us to read the Torah. We read the Torah. So we don't really, it's not a real issue. It's just to commemorate when it was a real issue. It's a tradition. And that's why on Shabbos, we traditionally have 21 psukim. On Yom Tov, we traditionally have a minimum of 15 psukim. However, there is a Shabbos which we only have, we have less than that, Shabbos Shuvah. And some people will add psukim to it. Some people won't add psukim to it. The reason why people would add psukim to it is because to keep it to 21. And the reason why people won't add psukim to it, certain shuls, sometimes you see a difference. Ashkenazim do, you see in the Chumash, sometimes that Ashkenazim do this amount, the Sephardim do this amount, or Chassidim do this amount, right? The reason why you have difference of custom is because it was less than the required amount of the 21 or 15. And so some will say you have to have the required number. Some will say it's no big deal because it's not something real anyway. We don't have it's not an issue today. The Haftarah is just keep the tradition of doing Haftarah. We have the freedom today to read from the regular Torah, and therefore it doesn't matter. And everyone do it according to their custom. If you do it Ashkenaz custom, the Sephardic custom, beautiful. The Black custom, beautiful. Everyone explain the reasons why each one has their custom. Page 118. מעריב, once down מעריv. Rabbi, you better than that? Release if you want. Okay. Moving. All right. It was a vote. Democratic vote. Correct.
Adonai Shia, Adonai Koreinu, Adonai Shia, Amalek Yaneinu Vem Koreinu, Adonai Shia, Amalek Yaneinu Vem Koreinu. Izgadal Izgadash Mirabo.
Amen.
Yomo Yofi Usevi Yamlik Malkus, Visman Kupon, Vikom Shika.
Amen.
Mechayek Memek, the full basis, so as I will as one Koreinu.
Amen. Yeshmina, Amen.
יזגדל ויזקדש מרבו.
אמן.
יום ולוח יוסף וימלך מלכוס ושמח וכל ידבר משיחה.
אמן.
וחייך מהמי כבחד לכל בית ישראל ועגול הזמן דברים. אמן.
אמן. ישמינה ובברכה.
Oyse shalom yimreimo yas shalom aleinu kol Israel v'Yom aleinu leshaveh
Das ist du das nächste
Adinayim lekoy benem avoy adinayim lekoy benem avoy adinayim kol shekor.
Amen. יצא הקדוש ברוך הוא זעק את ישראל ולפיו אחים ולמדנו מצוות שניהם על דרך גוי רק זה סדר לגמרי
להתקדש שמי רבה
אמן
כלמה דיברה כדוסי ועמדים מעושי וישמח וקראים יקראים שיקי
אמן
ויפון ומפון חיי לכל בית ישראל ועגלה וזמן קריב אמרו אמן
אמן ישמי
בשטבה ותקועה ותקומה וננסה ותדע ותלה ותלל שמי ושעה וריחו ויען כל וחטא ושפטה ושפטה וחמתה ואמן על ישראל ועל הבנה ועל תגיון ועל תלמידי תגיון ועל כל מן להסכים בו לדעת ואתה אתם בכל אתה ואתה יהיה להון לפון שלמה רבה חינה וחמין וחיים יחדים ושמה ובשם ובשם Salam Avon Ishmael and Romain.
Amen.
Yedesh Avon Ishmael,
Amen. Amen. Drink Bushma? Huh? No.